A lot of times when you actually go to run it, is you will actually see no data, and it's because of the filters and their default. You can actually, take off the filter itself, and then a lot of times you'll get the data to show. One thing to think about, of course, is that the actual, demonstration of the presentation of the actual data itself is being kind of defined or created, right, by Pyramid. And so there are some limitations with the filtering, at least that I have noticed. But sometimes I'll even try and just take it off and see if that makes a difference. Now you can also add in, you see how we have our hidden slicers. So this is coming from our different, slicers or filters that have already been created on our different dashboards. So if you remove those hidden slicers, so we'll come back here, we should be able to actually see where the report will pop up now. Yeah. So that's the thing to consider, right, is we're not actually putting these filters on the dashboard itself. So it can be a little bit, when you go to the presentation, it can be a little bit of a learning curve just to figure out, which one you need to use or not utilize, right, depending on how we, inserted that or included it. So I'll go ahead and just for demo's sake, show you how we can do it from here. Now, again, if you uncheck the hidden slicers, that's going to be the first key. You actually go into the dashboard itself, and then you do like we were just showing, where you uncheck the box here. That's when our data will appear. So it's something as a nuance, right? And when you're building, that's not something you're going to think about. Of course, the filters and all are kind of a final step in a lot of instances. So really, we're just concerned most about having the actual charts, right? Having the actual data available to us, and then putting on the filters a lot of times ends up kind of coming in at the end. So by having it built in the first place, it can be a little confusing when you try to go in and validate. So just keep an eye on the filters that are being used, what it's set for as a default, right? And some of those things you're able to actually change yourself. So you can kind of go in, right click, go into your slicer settings, right? And then if you wanted to, have this as more than just a drop down, but, multi-select or something along those lines, if we wanted to set a save it right at the 1899, we wanted to save it, on all, we could do something like that, right? And then that would help us, with the dashboard. And when we go in through that presentation, you'd be able to make those different options or those selections, right, based upon the filter itself. So it is a caveat. Just wanted to throw that out there, as I was kind of seeing it when I was playing around. So when I go into our presentations, sometimes I'm not seeing the data that I would expect. And it's not, kind of functioning as you would hope. So that the reason for that is because of the slicer that's being included. And if you're building out multiple presentations like we are, it's of course due to these hidden slicers as well. So just kind of keep all of that in mind, as you're going through the process.